and uh, I can go to Tableau and file, then a repository location. I repeat, you can just go to file, change the repository location, and select this location what we have copied here. Okay, enter, select folder. It's saying exit and restart to begin using this new repository. That means Tableau will consider your project repository is the same folder that's our sales dashboard, and whatever the related files, all the relevant files will be created by Tableau, that would be mapped to that particular folder only. Okay, all the supporting files of Tableau project will be created in that folder only. If you do not change the repository, that's okay. You can create the dashboard in your defined folder, but some of the supporting files of the Tableau will be created in the shared location of your Tableau. And the problem will occur when you move your application folder to any other system. In that system, some file may be missing. Am I make sense? Okay, okay, that's pretty
Yes.
simple. Now this is a small practice we have to follow when we start creating a dashboard. Now you could have seen that in this folder, in this sales dashboard folder, there was nothing. Earlier there was nothing. Now when I just change the repository location to the sales dashboard, Tableau automatically created these 5 folders, and each folder has a separate significance by its own, and these are all related. Let me make you aware about these folders. Our dashboard, our project, our source code, the file which you are going to create, the UI, will be created inside the workbook folder. Okay, we'll have to save the dashboard file inside the workbook. Workbook is something where we are, developing the dashboard. The source code file, the Tableau dashboard file, it would be placed here inside this folder. Styles is just like, you have a lot of uh, uh, Tableau style sheets. These are called TSS files. So you can just create some styles. You can define some fonts. You can define some background colors. You can define some dimensions of any particular object. And if you do not want to repeat the same practice for other objects, you can save it in form of a TSS file. Have you guys heard about CSS? HTML CSS files? So CSS is just like, yeah, CSS is cascading style sheet. This is used for repetition of or globalization of designing in case of you're doing a HTML programming. The very basic programming, when you start learning the computer, you must have learned. So like that, the TSS file is something. Oh, CSS is just like that. TSS is so these are something like, you can create some style specification to a particular object. Say you have applied a font, you have applied a color background, you have applied the 4 color back color, and many things. And then you can save those styles to the TSS format, so that to avoid the repetition of those styling in multiple objects. You can simply apply this TSS to those objects. Okay. Now shapes. Inside the shapes folder, you can keep all your dashboard related pictures, images, okay, and also Tableau have some certain predefined pictures, pre-created pictures. Those are there in the shape folders. You can see there are many icons, arrows that is crucially required by the dashboard, bars, many more. So if you want to create something customized, say you could have seen then in the last session, I was showing in the map, in a Google map, I was having a human icon. Okay, so that icon was not there in the list. I just downloaded that icon from Google and I've created that icon save folder here. Okay, now the last is data source. Inside the data source, you can keep your Tableau offline data extract files or other data files like Excel files, your CSV files, XML files, and also your Tableau data extract file. I'll tell you what is Tableau data extract. So just remember the data sources, the offline data sources will be kept here, or the flat file data sources will be kept here. Okay. Bookmark. Bookmark is nothing. You can create some selections. You can save that selection in form of bookmark, and that files will be kept here. But that is not crucially needed. But these your four uh, folders. Those are needed for the dashboard. Okay. Now, when you start creating the dashboard, just okay, just hold on. I'm just changing the network. Am I audible now, Mohsin? Okay. Now you have to start. So we change the directory, we change the repository. Now click on this icon. Once you click on this, you came here to the worksheet. Okay. Now here, this is the main window. Here we have the worksheet body. You have a lot of marks, a lot of tools here. Here we have the dimension and measures. Okay, I'll tell you the properties one by one. But before that, we need to interact with the data from Tableau so that you will get a lot of options here. Many options are now hidden. Okay. When you first create the Tableau dashboards, come here, and without the data, no, we don't have any rights, anything to do. So we need to connect with the data. Okay. So to connect the data, you have options like here in the menu. There's the database sign, add a new data source. You can click on this, else you can also click on this. In the data source, there's a data source tab on the bottom. You can click on this. And also here you can connect to data. Okay. So now connect to data. So once you click on this, you'll get these options. There are various type of database objects here. These are like your flat file databases. Flat files are in term of like the files those are saved in your system, just like your Excel, CSV, XML, Notepad. All these are the flat file databases. Okay. Now contemporarily, we are using three type of database overall, like your flat file databases, database server or RDBMS databases, and cloud based databases. Okay. So flat file databases are Excel, text, Access, other statistical files like XML and all. Database servers are like SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, and many other servers are also there, like your SP Vertica, IBM DB2. These are all database servers. And the cloud computing databases like your Salesforce, SAP HANA, Google BigQuery, all these are the cloud databases. Yes, Salesforce is a cloud database. SAP HANA is a cloud database. You have Oracle, PostgreSQL. These are all RDBMS databases. MapReduce, Hadoop. These are all cloud databases. Okay. Google Cloud SQL. This is a cloud database. Okay. So from the starting, we will connect to the most popular database is our SQL Server database. Before to connect to SQL Server, let me also open the SQL Server database so that I can check that the same database is coming to Tableau. I have SQL Server 2008 R2. I think you must have the SQL Server. If not, then I'll send you a SQL Server link today. You can get it downloaded, and I'll also share you some of the practice databases of SQL Server. You can restore the SQL Server. Okay, great. I'll send you the database today, practice databases, or you can also have your own databases if you have any. So I have SQL Server Management Studio. This is actually the SQL Server tool. This is one of the SQL Server tool where you can browse the database, you can create the tables, you can do all the SQL iterations by using this tool based console. My SQL Server name is localhost because this SQL Server is installed in my local machine. Login name, you know that the by default name is SA, which is stands for System Administrator. Okay, I connected to SQL Server. Now here we have a list of databases. I have many databases like asset management, ICFS, NUT, ORISOPNet and all. Okay, so I have one of the small database. Here I have is asset management database. This is actually a IT asset management database. Let me just connect to this database. I have a couple of tables here like TBL category, TBL asset. Okay, now let me connect to SQL Server from Tableau. Just click on this, my Microsoft SQL Server. Here you have to give the server name. Remember, if your SQL Server is installed in any other machine, you can just put the IP address of the server. That's a better practice. And if your SQL Server is there in your local machine, you can put the server name as localhost. Okay. Now the same credential what we put in the SQL Server site, you have to give here. That's it. Pretty simple. Now once I connect to SQL Server, you can see the databases that were there in my SQL Server site, it has been brought to here in this list. Now you can simultaneously choose one database. Okay, once I select the database asset management, I've got a lot of tables and views in the database. Okay, now what I need to do is I have to connect with the tables. I'll first bring the category table into list. What I can do, I can just select this and drag the table to here. So this is a panel where we can drag the tables and we can make the relation between the tables, just like we can form a view by joining multiple tables. Okay, once I'm dragging this table, you'd get these two options: update now, automatically update. Update now means once the data will become here, unless until you do not click update now, the data will not be refreshed and shown in the panel. So if you click on update automatically update, every time you pull some tables, you'll get the data automatically populated. All right. Now the next is the table is there, the data are there, and on the top you can see there are two radio buttons, which is live and extract. What does it means? What is the live connection? So live connection is just like you're watching a cricket match or anything happening on the field, cricket ground, you can instantly able to see in the TV. So live connection is something like that. Whatever the changes of the data will occur in the database table, that would automatically be reflected in the Tableau dashboard side. As we have clicked automatically update. Here in the panel there were two buttons and I clicked the automatically update option. Okay. So in that case, in the live connection, whatever the updates will be there in the table, whatever the data updates would be there in the table, that would be instantly get updated into the dashboard. But there are some limitations. For a very weak databases where you have a very huge volume of data, it is not recommended to go for a live connection because It might impact to the operational application, the main application, because that application gets slowed down, and the users, those who are using that application, say you are using SAP in your company, that application gets some performance impact. So it's a better practice to go for a extract mode in case of you're having a very big databases. But for small databases, like if you have 10,000, 20,000 records, that's okay, you can go for a live connection. Am I make sense? Okay. Now the extract is uh there are
I'm sorry, I
many.
have a question.
Sure, please.
Um, you said for a live connection, how small in terms of gigabytes, like, are we allowed to use, or it's smart to use the live connection?
Hmm.
I mean, how big of the data are we talking that would limit us to use a live connection instead of extract?
Hmm. Say you're using you have a small scale business, like you don't have many branches, you have a restaurant and all, or you have a pizza delivery shop. In that case, you can go for live connections where there will not be a very huge number of orders or very huge number of data raising in the table. So say you can go for a record, like even if 1 million records are there, you can go for live connection. But for more than that, uh, you're in case of your data increasing, it's not judicial to go for a live connection, and in that case also you can encounter some performance issues, like your dashboard would be loading little slowly. If you face such symptoms, you can go for extract connection.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
So for the extract connection, that just means like you just take a portion of the data and you just store it on your local machine and you just manipulate it from there and on.
Right, right. So, in fact, we
Right.
are, taking the entire table as a snap, and we're creating
Hmm.
offline data repository. That would be just like acting as a data warehouse. Okay. So
I
once you
see,
create
I
that
see. Okay.
repository, once you create that repository, we will know further connecting to the database over the day. Say our dashboard will be loaded once in a day, maybe early in the morning, so that to avoid the load on the database server. Okay, so no business
Okay.
users, no higher authorities does want to follow the dashboard again and again throughout the day. So they just want to see the last closing date status. If you are a transaction system, they want to see the last closing date status and last updates. So
So meaning they want to stick with the historical data.
right, so till yesterday they want to see the statistics, so they can go for the live the extract connections. Your dashboard will be loaded early in the morning. So in case of a very huge database, dashboard loading might take a couple of minutes or a couple of hours also. And when your dashboard loading will be ready, you'll be getting the data till last date. Okay. So in that case,
Okay.
the the benefits will be happen, like the performance will be so faster, as we are getting the data in the front end itself. We are not getting the data from any remote server, and also as we are loading the data from the Tableau data extract file, which is a proprietary database of the Tableau. The loading the data from the TDE file or Tableau data extract file is many times faster than any other flat file databases. And then we are not also depend on any other infrastructure. Say your internet connection is slow, your network is slow, and you're depending on a live connection. In that case, you might see some, you know, uh, performance gap. But in case of extract, wherever you take your dashboard, as you have the data with you, it doesn't depend on your performance of the network or performance of your other third-party software.
Amit,
Yeah,
yeah, I have a one question here.
sure, please.
For example, in the environment, we are not using Tableau server, right? For example,
Okay.
and we're using a third party, server something, right? Or maybe
Hmm.
Azure or some kind of, right?
Okay.
So in that case, which is a good one? Which the connection live or the abstract?
Okay. My question is, you're not using Tableau server. Tableau server means your Tableau deployment web server or any other server you're talking about.
Uh, Tableau developer server.
Okay. Uh, uh,
Just like, for example, we're not using Tableau server, just like when we schedule reports and everything, but we're doing for the bypassing Tableau server with
mhm.
a third-party server.
Okay.
So in that case, the live connection be, okay, faster or abstract?
That would be extra would be good for all time.
Okay, okay, I got it.
So extract files at the time of deployment of your dashboard, extract file will also be deployed to the Tableau server along with your source code. And once your dashboard will be reloaded, first the sequence of loading is the extract file, then it will reload your dashboard. So that's deployment process is pretty easy. We don't have to have a much brainstorming in that. That will all cover in the Tableau server section, how to deploy the Tableau dashboard with the extract files. Okay, now let us choose the second mode as extract mode. Once you click on the extract mode, you can also filter some items. Say in your database you want to you have a many branches. In your company you have a many branches, and you want to perform your dashboard for your specific branch, say for New Jersey branch. So in that case, in your every database table there would be a column called location or branch. So while using the extract, rather than fetching the entire data from the database, you can pull the specific section of the data also, just like branch specific records. Just add a filter here. You click on add. You can add some filter here. Add. Select the data based on any specific attributes. Say I'm going to select deleted flag. Deleted flag equal to what? Is true or false? If it's true, that means the records those are deleted. Okay. If it's false, then we'll consider the records those are only those are exist in the database, not deleted. So likewise, for your big business, you can go for extracting the data based on your selection criteria as well, which is difficult in case of your live. Okay, now I'm choosing my deleted flag should be false. Okay, the extract is applied. Okay, you can also see here my record number of the record is become less, and there were many records. Those records are identified to be deleted. Okay, I'm maintaining a deleted flag and I'm not deleting any record from the database. If I'm going to delete, then I just change the deleted flag as true to false. I mean false to true. By default, the deleted flag is false. That means the record is exists, not deleted. Now you choose in the extract. Once you want to move on to the sheet, then it will ask you for saving your extract file. Remember, if you choose the live connection, you can easily come to here, come to sheet. It will not ask you any data saving option, but click on the data source. If you choose the extract mode, and if you want to try to come to the sheet, before coming to the sheet, it will ask you to save the data extract file. So before saving, you can change the data model or the view name by clicking on it. Say my data model name is this one. Okay, so this is the database name and this is the table name. Say I'm adding multiple tables. I can also save this as a data model or a database view. Now I'm going to add multiple tables. Here I have only one table called category. The second table I'll go to add is make. Make table is a child table of the category which has one-to-many relations. I mean the primary key of category table is become the foreign key of make. So against one category we have multiple makes. Say category is a desktop, laptop, printer and all. So make are like for desktop I have IBM, HCL, Dell and all. These are the makes. For laptop I have Apple, Sony Vaio and all. For printer I have Canon, HP. These are kind of makes I have in the make table. Right, it creates an auto join. Okay, so now you have to decide that what kind of join you want to perform on this. Based on your data availability, if you want to make the join as inner join, that would be okay. I don't want to make it inner join because I have many makes, I have many categories, and according to that I don't have the records exist in both the tables. So I have one category, so against one category I have many makes. That's a one to many relationship. I have also few categories which may or may not have makes in the make table. So in that case my decision has to be a left join. Okay, so click on this. You can also change the joining type. I think all of you know about the joining facts, right? Or else if anybody wants to go from the grassroot I will also touch from the joining also from SQL side. So Smita, are you clear about joining? Left join, right join? Okay, Mohsin is okay about this. So Smita, Saad, I think you okay, great. Okay, so all of you have aware about the joining types. So then in this case, my decision should be a left join. Click on the left join, my joining will be formed, and then you have to manually select your attribute from the left table and attribute from the right table. Tableau will automatically select the attributes by matching the common field name, but always, yeah, but always the this field name would not have the common data. So you have to see and change the attributes by your own. Okay. Now I know that in the category table I have category ID which is a primary key, and the same thing it's is there in the make table in form of a category ID which is a foreign key. Okay. So this has the relation with this ID. Okay. Now that's it. You can close it. Now it's form a left join. So accordingly You can also add many other tables, and at last, once you finish this type of joining, you will get a data model with you. Now I'm going to add asset table. Yeah, this one. This is the table where we have the asset details, like your computer uh, or your laptop's details. And asset management in asset table has a expiry date, has a service code or service tag, which is a unique ID or unique detail of asset. So click on the asset table, and the asset has the relation with the make table, not directly with the category. In the asset table, we have a fields called category, so that's why it's automatically taken the joining with the category. But I have to make it a refrain. Click on it. Don't try to join the asset table with the category. Actually, category is, if the category is here the grandfather, make is the father, and asset is the child table. So these two tables are the master tables, and this is a transaction table. Based on the make, we have multiple assets. Okay, one make have multiple assets, so there is one-to-many relations between make to asset. Click on it. Select the data source on the left side as make. Make tables, and in the asset table you'd get make, this make. Okay, against a make you can get a make ID. Actually, the make ID in the make table is the primary key, and in the asset table there's a field called make, which is a foreign key, which takes the integer values, integer data, numeric data. Okay, but now if you just choose make with the make of asset table, in the make table we have a make which is a text field, which is a make name or string type of field. So we have to think about that. So to do the data model, you should have the proper understanding of the data flow from one table to another table. Okay, here it is make ID, and it is make. Now select the left join, because I know that against one make I have multiple assets. Okay, now I'm going to select another table called asset allocated table. So likewise I'll do the joining. I'll just, asset allocated table is a link table which map asset ID and employee ID together in a single table, so that in the this table stores the information of which asset is allocated to which specific employee of the company. Okay, so click on it. You have a detail, like you can select the asset ID, and you can select the asset ID here. Okay, you can select a full outer join here, and now I can add the employee. Employee has a relation with asset, asset allocated table. So select the allocated asset table first in the left, Here we have employee ID, and in the employee table we have employee ID. Okay, so now we form a data model which has the relation of many tables. Now I can add the employee details. I have department and designations. I'll drag the department table, click on it. So employee tables department is the department tables department ID, DPT ID. So that would be a right join kind of thing. That means against one department there would be multiple employees, and some departments are there which might not have some employees. So that's why I use a right join. And designation as well. Employees tables designation and department tables designation ID. That would again be a right join, because it's a master table which has many designation, and against each designation there are not all employees, there are not employees. Okay, now just have a look on the data model we formed. One category has multiple make and one make has multiple assets. Each asset and each employee is linked with each other by another link table called allocated asset table. This table stores the information of which employee being allocated by which asset. And now these are the two master tables or the property table of the employee, employee department and employee designation. So we completed our small data model. I think all of you are pretty clear on this, or anybody had the question, please ask me. Shashmita, you clear? Mohsin? What about Saad? You clear on this, right? Okay, good. Now you have to give your data model name. Say our data model or our view asset data model. Okay, that's it. Now before we go to the sheet, it will ask you to store the data model. So now I just created the view, but I didn't see the data relations automatically update. Now that means again whenever you get any data updated to the database, it will be there in the extract file, and automatically that would be viewed in this result set table. And now here in the table viewer you can see the attributes. These are the attributes or the columns of the table, right? Just below to that you can see some icons. Here is the icon hash. This is hash. This is the icon of a calendar. This is the icon of T and F. This is the icon of ABC. So what does it stands for? Hash means the numeric data, or the data type of this field is numeric. Okay, it may be integer, it may be n varchar and all, or it may be a floating point data. So that's why the icon is broadly okay. Yeah, and this icon stands for that the field data type is a calendar data type, that means a date data type. Okay, it can be applied to a date and it can be also applied to a date time field. Okay, now here we have tf was there. Tf stands for a boolean data type, that means which will only give true and false or 1 and 0. Okay, and here the data type is abc, that means the field will keep only as a string type of data. Here you can also see abc, that means a string type of data. Okay, now just right to that you can see tbl allocated asset and all, tbl asset. So that means it's a data model. It's a data model which is a combination or joining of multiple tables. So from the data model and from this result set, you can easily identify that this field is belongs to which table. This field is belongs to which table. This field is belongs to asset table, whereas this is from the asset allocated table. This is from allocated asset, and these are from the category tables. These are from the department tables. So likewise, you can see the results and understand about the facts about the table. Okay, now come to the sheet. You have chosen the extract. Come to the sheet. Before I come to the sheet, I'll get this option. Just it is a dialog which is asking to save the extract. As we have created the data model, I'll have to save the data model in form of the Tableau data extract file in my specific project folder. Okay, what is my project folder? Here it is, Mohsin, this one. Now in my project folder, where I have to save this data model, I told you that inside the data source. Inside data source, you can create another folder, extract. So I'm going to store this extract file or this data model inside the extract folder. Why I created the extract folder is I may have multiple other data sources. I may have Excel, I may have CSV. So I will I will save those data sources based on the different types. Okay, yeah. Okay, now we are here with the Tableau worksheet. Now once we connect to the data model and we form the data model, you see there are many tables and many fields of the tables which is showing in the dimension and measures. Okay, before to start with, let us save our dashboard also. We haven't saved it till now, just save. So once you'll save the dashboard, it will save the twv file. twv is Tableau workbook. So save it in our project folder, where it will be saved inside workbook. Let us keep the name as sales dashboard. Okay, sales dashboard. I can delete this. Now here we have two sections of the data. This is our data model. You can click on it and you can go anytime go to see our data model. If you want to change the data type of the table. If you want to change any selection, any filters, any conditions, or if you want to include or exclude any tables from the data model, you can instantly come here, else you can be there. Now before to change the dashboard sheet or KPI or any object, you can change the sheet name. Say first of all I'm going to create a chart or a KPI whose name is category wise assets. Double click on this, change the uh, chart type. Category wise asset. Okay, now without data we are nothing, we can't do anything. So here on the left side we have a list of tables. So first of all, what are these two pens? There are two pens here, one is dimension, one is measure. Dimension is also attribute and measure is also attribute of a table. Dimension is attribute which is mean for no, those are a string type of those holds the string type of data, and measure are those attributes those holds the numeric data. Your chart any of your graph will be generated based on two fields, that is x-axis and y-axis, right? So here for a layman term, the dimension will be considered in the x-axis and the measure will be considered in the y-axis. Say I'm giving an example. If you want to create a chart of the data, say you have a list of students and list of mark secure by students in different subjects. Somebody asks you to create a chart based on different student and their mark secure. So here what field will be the dimension? Student names would be the dimensions and mark secure would be the measures. So student names should be the in the x-axis, xyz whatever the student name is, then different marks would be in the y-axis, and based on the matrix, based on the student secure the marks, we will draw a bar graph or line chart or anything. Okay, so clear about the dimension and measure? Okay, great. Now I'm going to add a field from the category table. Category table's category is the dimension. I'm just double clicking on it. Once you double click on it, it would be included in the worksheet. Okay, then based on this category I will decide that the number of assets in the asset table. Okay, I just double clicked on the asset ID. So based on the category I've got number of assets. It's showing the sum of assets. I'll just change the type as count. Okay, so here this is the dimension and this is the measure. We can have the aggregation, we can apply the aggregation function on the measure only. Against one category we are getting the number of assets from the asset table. As the tables are joined together and have the relation, we can map the data from category table to asset table. Now we have simply got a category list which is desktop, laptop, printer and the makes in the make table. Okay, there were also many more categories, but they are not showing. Why they are not showing? Because I made the join type as left join. So if we'll just change this as a full outer join, the all the category will be shown. It's changing the extract file again. Okay. Now here there's some problem maybe in the join. I'll have to check that. Okay. Here's a category, and this is the list of categories and the available assets in the various categories. Now here it's applied on the row. You can also change it to column. So the difference between rows and column is, if you change it to column, just here is the option to change the row data to column. Okay, Susmita, we can just drop in 1 minute. Yeah, the session is recorded. Everyday session is recording. I'll send it to you now. So this is the type. Now you can change the type to different different various objects. I'll tell you how to change this object type to bar chart or any other charts tomorrow. So let us just drop the session today. We'll pick it up tomorrow from the position where we left. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. We can also cover 1.5 hours, or maybe we just started a little bit late today, maybe 10 minutes later. We'll
Yeah, sure. That's okay. That's okay.
I hope it is understandable to everyone, right? Or do you have any doubts?
Yes. I have one thing. From here, you just add, change the connections here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you try to drag and drop assist ID again? Just drag and drop again.
This one, asset ID.
Yeah, from the wizard. Yeah.
Yeah, you can also do that. And it should not be sum, because we are just counting the type
Yes.
of assets. So you can change the aggregation function type.
Right.
Click on this. Change the function type to count. You have a count, average, minimum, maximum, and all. These are the type of aggregation.
Right.
Okay, so you can do that. Okay, so see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome,
Thank
Amit.
you.
Anytime.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. I'll be looking over the recorded videos soon.
Okay, I'll send it.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
All right. You have my email address, right?
Sure. Susmita, can you just send me your your email ID? Okay, great. And just send me your phone number also, so that I can add you on WhatsApp. Yeah, I have your email ID, Sath.
Thanks, Amit.
Welcome. Okay, meet you tomorrow. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you very much, Amit. See you tomorrow.
Sure.
Bye.
Okay.